Hello and welcome back to the Woodshop. Yesterday we got our saw blade all set up parallel. Today I'm using the exact same jig for holding our dial indicator, and I want to get this fence set up perfectly square to the sliding mechanism. That way we'll have the blade, the fence and the panel slider all set up perfectly. This is going to make life so much easier for putting wood through. I have this dial indicator set up now. I have a little bit of tape holding the end down so that it will move as little as possible as I'm running quite a bit of extension here. So I've got it set on about the middle of one of the ribs of the fence. The fence does have some bumps and ridges and stuff, so I'm trying to get it set to about 0 there. And then we're looking for probably plus or minus 5 measurements, because look, just moving along here, we've got 0.05 of a millimeter. That's a very, very small amount. Obviously here we've got marks from the saw blade influencing it. So we get down to the end here and we're looking at something like 0.43 millimeters, which isn't too bad, but it is still quite a bit. So let's get this moved and see if we can get a better position on that. The adjustment mechanism for this fence is a little different to what most fences I've used in the past have been. It's not ideal, but it's such a heavy fence, I'm not quite sure how else you would do it. Okay, let's try that. Let's check that's long section. Yep, we're about. That's looking pretty good. Let's run the 5 down here and we're at 13 and a half from 0. So if we call that 0, we're on 5 and 0. 5 millimeters in, 0 on the indicator. Now I'm going to get some inaccuracy from just having touched this as I try and guide it over all of this rough table saw marking. So we're at 5 and 0.1 millimeter. That's pretty decent, but I think I can get just a tiny bit better. So it's 1/10 of a millimeter out, which is not bad at all. That hopefully is going to be just 1 or 2 out. Oh, actually that's bang on. That's, yeah, 1 or 2 hundredths of a millimeter out of accurate. So that's well under 1 thou across its length, or across those points. I call that good. Now we just need to get the fence level and then repeat that, because I noticed that the back end of the fence is dropping. Okay, that's the fence squared up. Well, I'm pretty pleased with that. We're within 0.03 of a millimeter across the length, other than where those saw blade dips are. Can't complain about that. Well, thanks for joining us today. I hope you found something useful out of this. Setting your saw fence parallel to your blade is really important, whether you've got a big panel saw or you've got just a construction site saw. It's really important to make sure you've got that fence perfectly parallel to the blade. It's going to stop binding wood. If you've got it coming too close to the blade, as you try and feed wood in, it's going to squash the wood which you're cutting against the blade, which is just going to bind, and it's going to really ruin your cut, lead to a lot of burning issues, potentially even grab the wood, lift it up over the top of the blade and bring it back at you, which is really not ideal. If you're having a lot of trouble pushing wood through, that's probably one of the main things which I'd be looking at, is making sure that that fence is running parallel to the blade. If you've got it set away from the blade at the back of the fence, you're going to find that as you try and cut, your wood is moving off to one side and you're not getting an accurate cut, or you can't keep it pushed up against the fence. The harder you try and push it up against the fence, the more the saw is fighting it as your waste material is rubbing against the saw blade, rubbing against your riving knife. So getting your saw blade and fence set parallel is really imperative to getting a good quality cut. If you're interested in other shop videos, tips, tricks, cool projects, please take a look at some of our other videos. Consider hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell for notifications next to the subscribe button. We'd love to have you along for the journey. Leave a comment if you've got any suggestions for other people, for us, ideas for projects, ideas for videos. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic day.